Okay, I've had my Korg PA3x arranger keyboard for, it's coming up, well, quite a few months now, and I'm one of these guys that doesn't like to read the manual, so I figured out a lot of stuff on my own, but still the manual is very helpful, and you can download an advanced manual too on the internet. But anyways, I'm going to do just a simple process today of how I go about recording tunes quick for performance. And I've been working with my PA, working out professionally for a while now, so I tried to put together a lot of songs real quick. Anyways, it's Christmas, so I was working on White Christmas. Now, forgive the shakiness here because I'm hand holding this camera, but the first thing you want to do, I'm working on White Christmas. I heard a Lee Ritenour version where it was done as a bossa nova, so I wanted to find a quick bossa nova patterns. Finding patterns on the PA is pretty easy to do. You can either touch the screen up here where the patterns are stored, and then on the side you have all the different categories: pop, ballad, ballroom, dance, rock, unplugged, etc. I chose bossa nova from the Latin section. Exit button will always take you back to the main screen. Exit button over here, right to the right of the screen. The other way to choose patterns is to go over to the pattern section, which is over here, and then you can click on, in my case, the Latin button, and it will pull up that same page. And we chose bossa nova as our pattern. Now, the next thing you do once you do choose a pattern is you want to make sure it's going to fit. All of the patterns come with, in the Korg, come with at least, well, 4 variations, and then a couple of different intro options. And so I always go ahead and listen to the introduction, and I do that by pressing over here the introduction button. Okay, and then I have pattern variation number 1's flashing, and as soon as I hit the start button, touch a chord, I'll touch a C chord, and hit the start button, and we'll hear it play the pattern introduction. Okay, so I think this will be suitable for me, this pattern, so I'm going to go ahead and stop that with the stop button right down below the screen. Alrighty, and then, the next thing you want to do is go through the different variations over here to see which ones you might like and use in the song. Also, you've got fill-ins that you can use between parts. And also you might want to be concerned with the pads as well. You can use those when you record a quick sequence, and that's what we're doing today. So basically choosing your pattern is pretty easy. Again, you can choose it from the screen by pressing here, and then you get your different pattern styles on the side. Or again, you can go over and choose your patterns in this section under the sliders, where you've got all the different styles, and it'll do the same thing. And again, I apologize for the moving around here, but I have a low budget studio. The next thing we're going to do is move on to actually inputting the sequence. Doing a quick backing sequence record on the Korg PA3x, and we've got our pattern all set up. That means we chose our bossa nova. We got our tempo set. By the way, right there is where the tempo set, and you can change that with the wheel over here. Okay, so now the next thing is we're going to get ready to input our sequence. So we've got to get into sequencer mode, and the other thing I'll advise you is make sure it's all set up the way you want it. It'll just save you some time when you get into sequencer mode, and you'll have less buttons to push. And that I meant basically decide which pattern and which introduction you want first. Have that those lights on and flashing, and then go over here and touch the sequencer button. And as I do that, you'll see how the screen changes to a sequencer mode, and it says new song, tempo's 120 there. But when you go to record, now you press shift and the record button, and you'll get this screen. And backing sequence quick record's not picked, you choose that and press OK, and then it will come up with your tempo. Again, it was 68 there, and it'll also come up with the choices you made for the variations and the introductions. So basically that's real quick how you get into the sequencer mode. Pretty much just hit the sequencer button, and then you would choose the backing sequence, and then go over there and make sure that you've got your pattern style elements all set up. So that's basically how you get into sequencer mode. Chose a pattern, we got into our backing sequence mode, and we're ready to record. We've got the intro 1 button lit, we've got the variation flashing. Up here I'm set for auto fill, which means anytime I change variations I'm going to get a fill in. You can also do the fill-ins manually if you need them in. You can add little things on the pad there if you want to. I'll try and do that during the thing just to show you how that works. I've got some cowbells set up and just some Latin sounds there. I didn't choose those, but you can choose those. That'll be another tutorial. Anyway, so we're ready to record. I input my first chord so it'll know what to do, and I hit simply the start button. You'll hear a click in, and then the pattern will start. And I'm just going to make it real quick, do one chorus, and I hit an ending just to show you how the process goes. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and playing my chords now. Dum, 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 da, da, da. Helps you sing along in your head. Okay. Again, you can record the pad. And an F chord and F minor. I just threw that in there to show you that you can. There's some great sequences too in that pad. Okay. Let's just keep going. Just threw that one in there. And now I'm going to switch to the second pattern. I hit that on 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll see it added some extra percussion there. I'm going through a second chorus. Put that little thing, and again the changes, and I'll do another one just to show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, shift 2, 3, 4, and now it's added a little shaker. The pattern changes from pattern to pattern are subtle, but they're well done on the chord. And now we're coming up on the end of the tune. And I'm going to hit the intro button, the exit button, ending button. And as soon as I hit that, the ending will play. Isn't that nice? Strange ending, the chord never resolves. That's it. When you're all done and the sequence is over, you go up here and you hit the stop button, and it will stop and revert back. And that's basically how you go ahead and put in your changes. Now, as soon as I hit the play button again, it will play the sequence just the way I recorded it. See, the intro comes in. There's the chord changes that I put in there being played automatically, of course, now. You can play over it and try a different. You heard my little cowbell thingy in there. Just to prove to you that it works. And that's basically how you input chords really easy into the quick record sequencer. Next step now will be how to go ahead and save and manage and add to those files. Recorded our sequencer. It's still named New Song. Basically at this point you've got a couple of options. If it's fine, you can leave it alone and save it, or if you need to change things on it, you can go into step record, or you can add parts by going back into your record mode and clicking multi-track sequencer. If you do that, it'll let you go in and add other melodic parts or solo parts in there. Track by track, you have full 16 track sequencer with editing capabilities. Or let's say you hit a fill-in at the wrong place and you know what measure that is. You can go into step recording and go to that measure and take that fill-in out and put in another one, or you can remove a bad note. I don't do that too often, but every now and then it's easier than re-recording this thing. So basically, to leave any screen, you go over here and hit the exit button, and the screen will go back there. Now we want to save the song, so up here in the top corner there's a little menu, and you can choose the option Save Song, and it'll ask you where you want to save it. You have your choice of either the hard disk, or you can go over there and choose your USB to save it on. When you get ready to save it, I'm not going to save this one, but you would just hit save. And again, you can save it to either a USB or you can save it to the hard disk. Once I do hit save, it'll ask you to name the song. Basically, I'm going to put it over on the on the USB drive, flash drive, which basically is over on the end of the keyboard there, and I use that a lot. You know, you can get a flash drive with 64 gigabyte, it'll hold a lot of stuff. Anyways, naming stuff here, you just press the T for text, and you can clear that out up here and punch in white space. We'll use the, instead of writing Christmas, we'll just use the Xmas thing. Okay, and then you would hit OK, and that'll go ahead and save it to the disk, but again, I'm not going to do that. So that's basically how you save your song and they're ready to play for. In fact, I think I will actually go ahead and hit OK, and we'll get into the next step. And are you sure? Yes. Okay. Basically, so now I'm all ready to go ahead and use my sequence for performance. So basically what I would do now is exit this mode, and I can do that by going over here and hitting style song play, because I'm going to play my song now. And when I hit song, it's going to ask me if I'm sure. Basically it's asking me, you sure you saved your song? And I'm saying yes. And now it's going to go over here, it says no song. So I'm going to pick that, and it comes right back up to where I saved that file. You see the top one is my White Christmas, and I select it, and now up here it's ready to play. As soon as I hit the start button, it will start to play. And in the next step, I'm going to set up my sounds that I want to play along with it, and also show you a little bit about how to store that into the songbook memory, which is a very, very handy for live performance. So basically that's how we get out of the sequencer, save our song, and call up the song in the song play mode over there so that we can work with it and practice it. To set up my song White Christmas for performance. Now when I say performance, I go out and I play with some friends of mine, sometimes solo, so I'm setting it up for solo performance now. And I'm going to choose the sounds that I might like to play along while the sequence is playing, and also adjust my microphone so that I can add harmonies and things like that. Very versatile keyboard, the Korg PA3x. So, I'm going to choose a few sounds. I've decided I'm going to want some kind of an acoustic guitar sound, so I'm going to put on, choose over here guitar and maybe concert guitar. Now when it says DNC, it means digital nuance control. These are exceptionally expressive sounds, and I'll get into another tutorial on using those too. So we'll use that, and then my second sound here, right now it's set for dark pad. I'm going to see if I can choose a saxophone here, choose sax from over here, and of course I'm going to adjust the volumes over here, so that's number 2. Of course I'm using one hand here, so I'll jack that volume up. Okay, and maybe on my third sound here, we'll just have a piano. So again, I choose piano, and there it is. Exit out of there. Now you can see over here is where I have my choose my sound. So sound number 1 is the guitar, number 2 is the sax, number 3 is the piano. Of course, we're gonna jack up the volume for the piano. Okay. Again, I apologize. I am using one hand to hold the camera here. Okay, so I've got those all set up so I can play those along with my sequence. The other thing I'm going to do is set up my microphone. Now down here I have a little mic button, and this is chord harmony. I'm going to touch that, and then I can use my wheel to do harmonies. And I particularly like this one called Too High. It adds a couple of harmony voices, and you can trigger those in different ways, but I'm going to use the keyboard. So I've got that all set up. Now, the other thing is you might want to add some percussion on the pads, or, well, that would be more for the sequencer. But anyways, we're all set to go here. Now, I'm going to try it out and make sure I've got everything adjusted. So I'm going to start the sequence here. And make sure I have my volumes and my harmonies done. So first the guitar and the saxophone and the grand piano, and I might want that a little louder, so I adjust it over here. Alright, I've got all my volumes adjusted. And I'm going to sing a little bit with my harmonies. Okay, let's see. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where my treetops glisten. I haven't got that right yet. To hear sleigh bells in the snow, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. Alright, that's good enough. So now I'm kind of all set up with my performance there. The next thing to do once you've got all your sounds set up is to store it into the songbook so that it's easy. You can call up all your settings all with one button, and that'll be the next little segment. A lot of information here, so you might want to go back and play this whole thing again. Set up, I'm going to store this in my songbook so that I can, I'm going to do that one real quick here. Basically, there's a songbook button down here, and this thing is really handy because you know, once you get a lot of songs, you're going to want to get them in a easily accessible place. So if I press songbook, and then book edit 1 here, it'll come up, and it says here White Christmas. That's the one I'm working on. Okay, basically because it's a new song, I would press the new song button. Okay, and over here is kind of important. If I want to save the sounds that I'm using now, I want to press this one, current. And you can go ahead and rename that. I might name it guitar, sax, and piano or something. And I'm writing it to STS1. From what I understand, by doing this, it's going to set the vocal harmonizer into memory as well, and the pads and things like that. So that's what I usually do there. And although sometimes if I don't need to do that, I'll just save all of the current styles that are available with the pattern that I started with. But anyways, it takes a while to learn all this stuff. So it's pretty simple. That's it. New song, and I'm going to press right, and the song's already named, White Christmas, new song, and then I would go ahead and press OK. It'll ask me if I'm sure. I am sure, so there it is. Now, that is stored into my song book. So if I press over here, where it says book, you'll see it's right in my lists of songs, White Christmas. So each time I select White Christmas, it'll come up with the guitar, the sax, the grand piano, the vocal harmonizer all set for me. So now I'm just ready to perform the song, which I'll do very quickly for you in the next segment. Okay, so I'm ready to perform my song now. I've called it up from the songbook, White Christmas. Get everything set up here with the guitar and jazz sax and grand piano sound, and I'm ready to go. So here we go. Start the sequence. Got that nice introduction playing. I'll sing one verse, and then I'll do some instrumental work after that. It's nice though, I can concentrate on the vocal. Here we go. I'm ready. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, oh, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'll put the sax in now. Since I got the keyboard, and that's the simplest way to get a song from your head into the keyboard at Korg PA3x. Oh, excuse me, my thing's once again, you know, that's pretty much basically how you go and do a quick record in there. I hope the tutorial was helpful. and I'll be putting up more tutorials as I learn more about the keyboard. Also, please go on the website, ask some questions, or maybe I'm trying to set up a forum for other people that have these keyboards, and also all kinds of arranger keyboards, you know, to ask questions about how to work these things, sequencers and patterns and fill-ins and all that good stuff. So visit me at pianolessonsforlife.com and keep on playing. And peace out, everybody. I love you. Please come back and visit me again. And contact me, all right?